He does look pretty intimidating, I'm not gonna lie. He probably does lacrosse.
Oh, there's hearts coming up.
Ooh. Let's see.
Oh my, yes.
Oh,
my, yes.
whispered Mrs. Raccoon.
But I'm sure we can work things out.
Before leaving, she gently fluffed Chester's mask and playfully tweaked Ronnie's nose.
Be brave,
She told the cubs, and gave each of her sons a comforting kiss on their palms. Wait, Cassie's a boy? I thought Cassie was a girl. Okay, well, he already has a high voice, so maybe he'll just be young. Hey, are you texting?
No, I'm videotaping.
Okay, that's okay. Alright. After school, Chester, Ronnie, and Cassie told Mrs. Raccoon how the badger bullied his classmates at recess.
First, he snatched a ball away from the squirrel and popped it. Then he climbed atop the jungle gym and squashed the opossum's finger until the opossum fell to the ground. Then he spooked a doe who bumped into the skunk who got so scared that he sprayed and stunk. Even Owl Teacher couldn't get him to behave.
sometimes animals are bullies because they don't know any other way to be.
Explained Mrs. Raccoon.
But I think there's a way you can change things. Go, get your friends and bring them to a tree. I want to share a story.
A few minutes later, a crowd of eager young forest animals stood at the base of Chester's tree house, and Mrs. Raccoon began her tale.
Here we go.
Once, a long time ago, there was a secret forest, sprinkled in yellow stones. The stones were round and polished, big and little, and smooth enough to hold. Every animal in the forest collected and treasured them.
Which actually doesn't make sense if you consider supply and demand. Alright.
One day, an animal found a blue stone. It was very exciting, since no animal had ever seen a blue stone. But the blue stone was rough and dull, without any polish or shine, and had sharp, prickly points sticking out of it, making it very hard to hold. Careful not to hurt their paws, the animals carried the stone to the center of the forest, placed it atop a tree stump where everyone could see it.
Perhaps the stone is blue because it popped out of the ground too soon, suggested a fox.
Suggested the fox. So the animals waited and watched for many days and nights to see if the blue stone would turn yellow, but the stone remained blue, and its outer shell remained sharp and pointy.
I believe the stone is blue because that is the color it is meant to be, said a very wise snake. Therefore, we shall treasure the blue stone for the color it is. But if we want to hold the stone as we do our yellow stones, we have to work together to smooth its outer shell.
So first the woodpeckers turns chipping off the stone's sharp prickly points with their beaks, and the chipmunks rolled the stone with their noses.
Wait, they rolled the stone with their nose? Okay.
While other animals shined and buffed the stone with the tree bark and fluffy tails. In time, the blue stone was as smooth and shiny as the yellow stones.
Mrs. Raccoon smiled down at the young animals listening to her story.
The badger at your school is just like that blue stone,
She explained to Chester and his schoolmates.
He is a badger, and that is the way he is meant to be. But if you work together, I think you can smooth out his bullying ways.
The next day, when the recess bell rang, all of the little animals went outside together.
This hole from that wall to here are all...
They huddled close to one another and walked towards the bully in one great big confident pack, with Chester in front, holding a ball. At first, the bully looked at them with a twinkle in his eye, thinking, "I'll get one of you." But the pack got nearer and nearer to him without a hint of fear. The badger's expression changed. His eyes widened. His jaw dropped open. His knees grew weak and wobbly. Suddenly, it was the bully who was scared. He began to whimper and squeal and thought, "They're coming to get me back." But there was nowhere to run. He just stood there, with his back up against a tree, as his schoolmates drew closer and closer and closer. Finally, Chester was nose to nose with the trembling badger. He narrowed his eyes and looked as serious as a little furry face would allow. Then, without hesitation, he held up the ball, looked straight into the bully's eyes, and asked,
Wanna play?
"Huh?" The surprised bully stopped shaking. He looked at his classmates who were laughing and offering friendship.
You want me to play with you?
That's kind of something the Cookie Monster now.
That's what I was thinking.
He squealed with delight. He
Delight.
gently took the ball out of Chester's hand.
Okay,
He told them.
I'll play.
So in one short moment, the badger softened, and the bully became a friend. The badger didn't need to bully anyone ever again. Chester glanced towards the wooded path and saw his mother watching and smiling. She placed a kiss in her palm and showed it to her son. Chester did the same and then joined in the fun. The end.
Good job.